Well, here at Trinity, before we get into the sermon, for those of you that might be guests with us, we have what's called a Worldview segment. And the reason we do a Worldview segment is we believe Christians today, more than ever, need to be informed about what's happening in our world. Because without being informed, how are you going to pray? How are you going to know how to pray or what to pray for? But not only do you need to be informed to know how to pray, you need to be empowered individually, personally, corporately, so that you could act, so that you could do something to make the world a better place. And in this Worldview segment, I want to talk about the Superbowl of life. Who's in your huddle? So Super Bowl weekend has come and gone, and the Eagles put an old-fashioned thumping on the Chiefs. Somebody check on Taylor Swift. But anyway, I want to talk about something deeper than the score or the commercials or even the halftime show. But hey, thumbs up for the halftime show. This is the first halftime show I can remember where people had clothes on. Yeah, that's a good thing. But I want to talk about something that to me was the most inspirational moment of the Super Bowl. It was prior to the Super Bowl. I don't know if you saw the video of Brad Pitt. It was a very patriotic, inspirational video about the huddle. And the creators of this, they kind of played off of in team sports, you have a huddle. And America, when it comes to sports, we all come together, and sometimes we set aside our differences. You know, we come into a huddle. And I was thinking about that. Really, all of life is like a huddle. A sports team comes together in the huddle, and they call the play. We huddle every weekend or midweek in all of our small groups. These are spiritual, what you might call a holy huddle. In your family, in our families, we need to have holy huddles where our family comes together, whether it's at dinner or devotion time or both, and we call the plays. We set the strategy. We make sure that we're all, running the same play, that we're all operating out of the same playbook, so to speak, in life. In business, it's important to have huddles, times when you come together and strategize and build the team and then execute, each of the team players executing to the best of their ability. And that's really what's inspirational about the Super Bowl. These two teams that end up in the biggest sporting event in all of America is the Super Bowl. Hundreds of millions of people are viewing it, and we're inspired by the hard work, the sacrifice, and the dedication, and sometimes a little luck along the way that allows these two teams to end up in this most significant of the sporting events in our country. And they put everything on the line. And really all of life, the real Super Bowl isn't what's played once a year in one of our cities across America. The real Super Bowl is how you and I come together and we dedicate our hard work, our love, our passion. We're committed to the call of God in our life, to our family, to our God, our family, our country, our church, to our place of business, and we're giving our very best. That's where the real winning matters, is winning in life. And God has destined all of us to win in life, and that's why we need to make sure that we have our own huddles. And so the question is, who's in your huddle, right? When we come together as a church, I think it's important for us to be informed and to be inspired. Why? Because there's no greater enigma than an uninformed Christian. An uninformed Christian is like a soldier unaware of his mission. It's like a physician ignorant of medicine. It's like an educator without knowledge. And so God wants to empower us with discernment, with wisdom, to understand the times in which we live so that we could know what we should do. And really, like in the game of football, there are 4 quarters. Spiritually speaking, I believe the church in these last days, we're living in the 4th quarter for what's happening in our world today. I believe the coming of Christ is soon. It could be in our lifetime. So we're on the clock. And just like in a football game, we have to watch the clock and be aware of the clock. I believe the Lord has given his church in America a prophetic 4-year window of opportunity. And during this next 4 years, we as Christians all across this nation, it's our Kairos moment. It's our divine moment. In Ephesians 5:16, the Apostle Paul said, make the most of every opportunity. Why? Because the days are evil. And the days we're living in are very evil. And that's why we must carpe diem. We must see the day, and we must seize the day. The Greek word, once again, for opportunity is kairos. And that means a divine moment or a supernatural door that the Lord has opened. And we as his church, as his people, called by his name, we must recognize it. We must act. As it says in Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 30, God said, I searched for a man among them who would build up a wall and stand in the gap before me for the land so that I would not destroy it. But here's perhaps one of the saddest verses in the Bible. God says, I found no one. I pray that God has found a group of people in Lubbock, Texas, here at Trinity Church that are committed to build the spiritual walls around our nation once again and to stand in the gap. And what does it mean to stand in the gap? Well, let's take that word GAP, to be a GAP stander. Let's make an acronym out of it. It means we're going to go in prayer, we're going to act in service, and we're going to provide through bold generosity. It means over the next 4 years, we need to pray like never before, serve like never before, and give like never before. Here at Trinity Church, we are a MAGA church. Here at Trinity Church, we want to make America godly again, because that's only the church is anointed by God to make a country godly once again. So who's in your huddle? Who's in your huddle throughout the week? Who's in your huddle? And are you playing the game of life with excellence? And finally, are you building others up or just tearing things down? We need to be part of the solution and not those that cause the problem. Because in the end, the real Super Bowl isn't played on a field. It's played in our homes, our churches, in our communities. And all of us must be dedicated, must work hard, and we must play to win.